Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, Dee Woodson, and Michael Bullock. And guys, we're going to be recapping the Clash of Champions that went down here tonight live on the WWE Network from the Thunderdome in Orlando, Florida. And, well, the pre show match. Now, okay, a lot happened earlier tonight. A lot happened earlier today. There was absolute, complete, and utter chaos all day on WWE. If you haven't been following the news, let's break it down real quick. So, what happened was earlier in the evening, well, earlier this afternoon, word got out that Nikki Cross was taken off the Clash of Champions show and that she was unable to compete tonight. We didn't know what happened. We didn't find out about what the word was or what broke out. Then we found out later on that the WWE Women Tag Team Champions, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, were also taken off the card. We didn't know what had happened there. Then, during the kickoff show, they did make the official announcement that all three ladies were unfit to compete tonight. And more importantly, we also found out that tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, we will get into the women's tag team title situation. That's not good. That definitely throws red flags on our end. And we're thinking injury, COVID 19. What is going on? We think the that Nia and Shayna might be giving up the belts. And who knows, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, we might be crowning new tag team champions. But with that said, we also had another problem. What happens with Bayley? What's going to happen with Bayley? You know, she was supposed to defend the title against Nikki Cross tonight. What happens with Bayley? We'll get into that a little bit later on tonight. First off, of the first thing that we got is a pre-show match, as it was the SmackDown Tag Team titles. It was Nakamura and Cesaro versus the Lucha House Party. Nakamura and Cesaro successfully defends the title at 10 minutes and 45 seconds. Alright, fine. I don't think we had any problem with that. I know a lot of people were griping about the pre-show match going into it, but I think all in all they made the right decision by putting this as the pre-show match, and they actually did move the Raw Women's title match. Asuka and Selena Vega was actually moved to the main show. So, with that said, we started it off tonight with the triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, as it was the reigning champion Jeff Hardy putting the title on the line against AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 26 minutes, 35 seconds, and now the undisputed Intercontinental Champion is Sami Zayn. Now, this divided the house. Anthony and myself we didn't have a problem with the outcome of the match. However, Dee Woodson and Michael Bullock were absolutely hopping mad at the result of this match, and boy, it went down in the in our little Facebook Messenger chat, and it exploded pretty bad. Let's just say some raw emotions spilled over on the match itself, but it was a great match. This was a tremendous way to start the show, and the thing is, Didi and Mike Bullock's gripe was that, Sammy took a big cheap way out. that he cheated to get the titles. He handcuffed AJ Styles and handcuffed Jeff Hardy to respective ladders and was able to climb up and get the Intercontinental titles. Which is, I get it. I got nothing mad to say about it. And I get where they were coming from on the cheap way out. Because that is a cheap victory. That is going to give nuclear heat to Sami Zayn. And that will create quite an interesting dilemma on SmackDown Live on Friday night. I mean, Friday Night SmackDown is going to become must-see television this week. More than any other episode, this one will explode this week. There's a lot of stories that's going to break out. So this could be a must-see SmackDown Live. And, okay, I get the argument, and it's valid. There's no way about it. There's no way around it. What Sami Zayn did was very diabolical. It was evil. It was messed up. In the light of the match itself, and I get it, but when Michael Bullock comes out and says, well, he just denigrated the Intercontinental Championship. To you he did, not to me. Because the thing is that sometimes you need monster heels. You need nuclear heat type heels to further the storyline. And the thing is, this is not done by a long shot. Anybody who thinks that this is over, no. D.D. Woodson made a valid point by saying that they need to revisit this. Oh, they will revisit this on Friday night. There's no doubt about it. This is not the end of the storyline. As a matter of fact, I could even go one further. I think this might set up Hell in a Cell. This could actually set up the first ever triple threat Hell in a Cell match for the Intercontinental title. It got the makings of it. It's got the story for it. And after what happened tonight, I could definitely see 3 men locked into Hell in a Cell and let them fight for the Intercontinental title. And I think that would appease everybody in the room. This was 4 to 4.25 stars. I could even say maybe even 4.5 stars. This was a great match, a great way to start the show. Yes, I understand the ending was stunk, and I know a lot of people were upset about it, and I definitely understand it, especially on those who are very mad about Sami Zayn winning the belt. But at the end of the day, I felt like this was the right decision. And we were predicting this going in. That's the thing. We called this. Me and Florio both called it that Sami was going to win the belt. So, there's nothing more for me to add. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yes, indeed, MF. And before I get into my thoughts, the only thing I want to say right now is to my dear friends Michael Bullock and D.D. Woodson, and all I want to say is in advance, I want to let you all know, regardless of what you have to say about this, you have my utmost. I will fully respect the opinions that you have here tonight. Being the man of good faith I've been, always been, and always will be, till the day the Lord calls me home. Bullock and Didi, whatever you have to say about this, whether I agree with it or not, I'm going to respectfully, I'm going to be as respectful as I possibly can. You have my full-on respect, bar none. So with that being said, to me, this was the fight of the night. This was 4.5 stars. The ending, yeah, it may not, I know it's not for everybody. I know it's not for Bullock and Didi, and I know Bullock's going to go Byron Saxton mode, which he's been known to do, and Didi will probably throw in a little bit of some Renee Young and all that, and that's fine and dandy. But at the same time, I got to be the man who tells it like it is. The ending may not be for everybody, but If it wasn't for that, if it had been a little more decisive win, then this would have been flirting with 5, honestly, because wow. But it gets 4.5 from me. Was this the best ladder match of all time? Maybe not, but it's going to be a contender for WWE Match of the Year for sure. All 3 competitors gave nothing less than 100% to make this a show-stealing performance. They are on a B-level pay-per-view with no fans in the arena, and they wrestled like they were in the main event of WrestleMania in front of thousands of screaming fans. Jeff Hardy was his usual risk-taking self and gave us a few more moments to add to his eventual Hall of Fame highlight reel, as did Sami Zayn and AJ Styles. In fact, this bout had some of the most creative spots I and we have seen in a ladder match in quite some time. This was an all-around awesome performance by everyone involved. Period. End of statement. End of quotation. 4.5 stars. And yes, I agree. MF, you were right. I had Sami Zayn winning this. I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach that he was going to win because, they are gonna build Sami Zayn as, well, Roman may be the most dominant heel right now. He may be the heel on SmackDown right now, number 1. But right behind him, as far as the most obnoxious goes, and the biggest pain in the you-know-what, that's going to be Lame Duck Man all the way. So, if you hated him before, you have plenty of reason to hate him even more now. And all I can say is it was a fun match to watch, and the match it felt like, it had the prestige, I know Bullock and Didi are going to say that Sammy's going to devalue the title, and I can understand that. I get where they're coming from. But the effort that was put in tonight made the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship feel like the most prestigious. It's the most prestigious it has been in a very long time. This championship right here, a title that is forever in my heart, a title that I have great respect and appreciation for all the men and all the Hall of Famers who have held it. Yes, there are some who have devalued it. Sammy probably will devalue it. He's probably going to make a mockery of it. But the effort tonight that we saw made this belt at the most prestigious it has been in a very long time. And as someone who has the utmost respect, love, and appreciation for this beautiful piece of gold that you see on your screens right now, thank you, Jeff Hardy. Thank you, AJ Styles. And thank you, Sami Zayn, for one of the best damn efforts I have seen in a ladder match in a very long time. Blessings and much love to all of you. And it's matches like this that make me damn proud to be a professional wrestling fan. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I suggest you take this now before I get, really emotional about this, because this title just means so damn much to me.
Yeah, well, you better enjoy it, because Sami Zayn is going to devalue that title. Because you really think this guy's going to bring prestige to that title? Not as far as I'm concerned. So you guys give it 4.5 stars. I'm sorry, I can only give it 4 because of that ending. It just really, really rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, it was a damn good match, no doubt about it. I'm not gonna disagree with that. But it's the ending that is why I'm only giving it 4, and I can't go 4.5. Because really, Sami Zayn, you had to take the cheap way to win this. I mean, if he had won it cleanly without using like a handcuffs to both AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy, then I would have said, then I definitely would have given it the 4.5, and I wouldn't be going off the way I did. But the way he won it is just, I didn't like it. I hate it. It just devalues the way of the Intercontinental titles, as far as I'm concerned. And I mean, I really hope. I mean, I know this rivalry is definitely far from over, but I hope eventually Sammy's reign doesn't last that long, because if he holds on to this title for a long time, yeah, he's going to devalue it, and it's going to rub me the wrong way, because I mean, I endure the history of the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, even Florio too. I mean, you saw him holding that title with the way he talked about it moments ago. So that's all I'm gonna say on it. So 4 stars for me. Dee Woodson. Hey, at least you're on my side starting this whole.
Yeah. Uh, the match was going really great. I really was into it. He brings out the cuffs, and the first thing that grossed me out was the fact that he used Jeff's ear to handcuff him to a ladder. Now, go back to when Jeff was feuding with Orton, all those times that he was poking at his ears and everything. That grosses me out. And I do have a reason for it. When I was younger, my niece, that's only 7 years younger than me, actually had her earring ripped out of her ear and had that tear down her ear. And that was just so gross. And it just unnerved me then. And seeing things like that being ripped out still unnerves me to this day. And I'm 47 years old. Yeah, it's going to gross me out to a point. I understand they're wanting to make him, a big monster heel, whatever. I can go with Fletch's idea of, building this for Hell in a Cell. It's just, to me, this was what you would call a legal cheat, because he cheated, but it was legally, because anything was allowed. It would be okay. I guess it would be okay to a point, but the thing is, though, this is the way you're starting off the show. You want to start it off big. You want to start it off, in a good way. And a lot of fans aren't big on that kind of stuff. And, I'm one of the ones I would rather see the clean win over something cheap and everything. So I definitely agree with Bullock on the 4 stars. I have to penalize just because he pulled out the handcuffs. And it seems like every time they can't decide how they want somebody to lose, this is how they do it. Or you can also make the argument that Duck Boy here doesn't know how to fight a match without having either 2 guys in his corner, which is how he won it the first time. These 2 guys in his corner that helped him win it, which are now the tag team champions, or to go about this way and make a cheap win that makes you look like you can't do anything without help. So, yeah, I respect the guys' opinion that they like it. It was high on their list. I can't. In good faith, I can't do that. Even as a mom, I can't do that. I'm not saying this just because I am a Jeff Hardy mark. Because that just really grossed me out. I'm saying it as professionally and personally together as I can, I don't like this kind of ending because it just makes the champion look too cheap. You just, I mean, I don't think I've seen him defend that title even before he took the vacation where he had a clean win. So he's just kind of picked up where he left off with just cheap ways out. So, I'm not going to say he's going to degrade the title or anything, that he's going to tarnish the legacy of it or anything. But, I mean, it does kind of hurt a little bit because you took the cheap way out. You didn't show or prove that you could actually win that title without something or someone that's out there to help you. It is what it is. Let's move on.
All right, fair enough. Definitely fair enough. No doubt about it. All right, guys, so we're going to move right on along. Raw Women's title on the line. The champion Asuka versus Alina Vega. Winner of the bout in 7 minutes and 5 seconds. And still the Raw Women's champion Asuka. Anthony Florio, it is all yours. Asuka basically successfully defends the title and takes down Zelina Vega.
What was the time again?
7:05.
7:05. 2.5, I believe, would be the best for this. This was a good performance from both women, but it felt a bit rushed and ended before it had a chance to really get going. It was going to be hard for anyone to follow that ladder match, but it would have been nice to see what was, at this point, the only women's match on the card given a little more time. Zelina Vega is going to surprise a lot of people who are not familiar with her in-ring skills, like myself, MF, and DDR, based on her Impact days. You know that story. She is a gifted high flyer who could get that belt one day. Could. I don't know if she will, but you never know. She could one day, but obviously not tonight. But I think 2.25 to 2.5. I believe that is the best rating I can personally give this match. So it was good, but the big, you know what I always say about Raw. You know what I always say about what the problems are about Raw. This was one of them. Rushed. So that's all there is to say on that. 2.25, 2.5 for the effort. Michael Bullock, Phenom, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it about 2.25 to 2.5 as well. I mean, it was fine for what it was, but like Florio said, it did feel rushed. I mean, yeah, Zelina Vega definitely gave a good effort in this match, but yeah, Asuka proved why she's dominant. And I mean, if these two had more time, I mean, the rating could have been much higher, but it did feel rushed. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. It was a wee bit rushed, but both ladies, in the time that they had, looked good, and they worked well off of each other. One thing we did find out was that we do have a draft coming up, so that would also mean that, if Zelina gets on SmackDown, she could be going after that title instead of Raw. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see with that. But yeah, there's a possibility that she will become a champion one day. She's that good. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, and actually to note about the draft, it's actually going to go down. The first night of the draft will be on SmackDown Live on Friday night, October 9. That will be the day where I guess the SmackDown selections will be made, and then it will be the next week. That next week on Monday night, October 12th, will be Raw's answer to the SmackDown moves. So we'll find out who's going to Raw, who's going to SmackDown. It could be similar to what we've seen in the past with the past Raw event and SmackDown events, where basically surprises could come at any time. So we'll see that. Yeah, I mean, 2.25 stars. I thought it was an all right match. I don't think there was anything bad about it. I think we just had it was pretty good for what it was worth, and yeah, I really got nothing bad to say. And yeah, look, given more time, Zelina Vega will be better. Um, but I think when it comes to Raw, I thought she did all right. I thought she did it pretty well. So, but it's Asuka. I mean, she's one of the best right now in WWE. Ever since Becky had to leave due to pregnancy, Charlotte's been out because she's had injuries and surgeries. So you need the face of Raw and the face of SmackDown. Asuka's the face of Monday Night Raw, and she deserves where she's at right now. She's busted her butt. A lot of people were like, well, what's going on with her? She hasn't had an opportunity to do anything in a while. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen Asuka, when she first came in, she was one of the most dominating wrestlers in WWE. Then she lost to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and it looked like she lost her momentum. It looked like people didn't know what the heck was going on. Ever since she got the belt back after winning the Money in the Bank ladder match, which actually was later proven to be for the Raw Women's title because that was right around the time Becky found out she got pregnant. She became the Raw Women's Champion, and rightfully, deservingly so, being the champion. And ever since then, she's been one of the best, if not the best wrestlers on Monday Night Raw. And there's no argument with that today. So, what's going to happen next? We'll have to wait and find out. Obviously, Zelina got a great opportunity. This was her first ever title match for a belt. Did all right, but at the end of the night, does not walk away with the gold. All right, so next up we had was for the United States Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. Bobby Lashley successfully defends the title at 8 minutes and 15 seconds. So Michael Bullock, you lead off on this. Lashley is still the almighty United States heavyweight champion.
Yeah, the outcome was never in doubt, Fletch. I'm going to give this about another maybe 2.25, 2.5 for the effort here. I mean, yeah, I mean Apollo once again. I mean he hung in there, but the almighty Bobby Lashley proved too much, and it was just too soon to take the title off of him. I mean, there'll come a time that he'll lose it. We just don't know when. So there's really nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there was just no reason for him to lose it. Had just got it. I agree with the rating, so it's yours, Fletch.
2.25 stars. I agree with that. I thought it was an all right match. I mean, but this was something you would normally see on Monday Night Raw. There was really nothing special about the match. Nothing at all. It felt like paint by numbers. It just felt like a regular TV quality match that you see on paper on Monday Night Raw on USA. That's literally what this match was really all about. Anthony Florio, concur?
Absolutely. I hate to, but I have to. I mean, my show's a dumpster fire. What else is there to say? And here's one of the reasons why. I mean, rushed matches, slow, boring, plotting matches, too many cooks in the kitchen. You know the routine, but too much too fast. And we saw it here again. 2 stars. You can make an argument for worst fight of the night. I mean, this was a decent match, but it never got out of second gear. It felt like WWE wanted both guys to look good, and it ended up leading to neither one of them standing out very much. Bobby Lashley's style needs to be more violent. He is a professional MMA fighter, an unreal powerhouse. He should be fighting more like Brock Lesnar. Apollo Crews tapping out was a predictable finish, but Cedric Alexander's absence was strange. It really seemed like it was a setup for him to interfere, but it never happened. But then again, I was kind of also expecting Retribution to get involved because of their feud with the Hurt Business right now. So, I don't know. But you're absolutely right, man. TV quality match here. And meh. That's all there is to say on that. And like I said, you can make an argument for worst fight of the night. 2 stars. That's it for me. Let's move on.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I know Anthony Florio wasn't really too happy with Lashley and Apollo Crews. I don't know how he's going to feel about this one. The Raw Tag Team titles were on the line next. The Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford putting the titles on the line against Andrade and Angel Garza, winner of the bout, in 8 minutes and 15 seconds. And still, the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, they successfully defend the titles. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Okay, let's see. I gotta find my notes real quick. Excuse me. Okay, yeah. I thought this was a pretty decent match. I'm gonna give it about 3.25 stars. From what I've heard, and I've seen a little video clip, the reason it was ended kind of abruptly the way it was that Angel Garza did tweak his knee. I haven't seen anything to confirm it, so you can take this as a rumor, but he didn't put a lot of weight on it, and if you noticed, a lot of that time right there, they switched back to Ford, so that they were trying not to show it very much, but yeah, that's what I've heard on that one. So not much more I'm going to add. So it's yours, Fletch.
I mean, yeah, I'll give you that three stars, maybe 3.25. It was good. It was a solid tag team title match, but the outcome was never in doubt. Though this was one of those where it wasn't much, it wasn't anything amazing, but it was solid. It was definitely a lot better than the U.S. title match, but not by much. But it was definitely more of a pay-per-view quality match than the last match we were talking about. So, Anthony, at least you got something to build off. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins successfully defend the titles, but the problem is, who do they defend the titles against next? There's not that many teams on Monday Night Raw that is really out there that you can put the belts up against. So I think that's the problem that I think the Street Profits have now run into.
Oh, how I wish Monday Night Raw had a tag team division like AEW. That's what I wish so much for. To have a top heavy tag team division with so many great teams going at it, but ours, oofa. That's all I can say. It's hard to keep track of how many times we have seen these two teams fight each other. Raw is lacking in the tag team department right now. Understatement of the year. And these duos have been bearing the weight of carrying the division until WWE comes up with something better. However, the fact that these two teams have fought each other so many times has led to them developing more and more chemistry over time. This match was their best to date. The botched finish by the ref likely robbed us of the planned finish, but it will also be what WWE uses to keep this feud going until it has more teams to cycle in and out of the title picture. Botched finish, feud must continue. And who botched it? Well, someone who knows a thing or two about botching finishes, Mr. Rock and Rod Zapata, the referee. But then again, now that I see after what Didi Woodson just posted here, we might have had another Ivar situation here. Angel Garza appeared to have possibly suffered an injury during this match, coming down awkwardly on a knee just before he tagged out to Andrade. Garza rolled to the outside and was not a factor in the rest of the match. After the bout, officials and Andrade were seen tending to Garza. Who knows? Maybe Garza threw the X up like Ivar did on Raw a number of weeks ago. So now that I have been corrected by Didi Woodson, disregard my previous comments here. I will give it 3 stars, and I hope for the best for Angel Garza. He's a blue chipper, and that's all I can say on that. So I pray that Garza's injury is nothing serious, and that he will be immediately healed, and we can keep on going with this. So I'll give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. So nothing more to say. So Michael Bullock, as we get your thoughts on this match, what do you make of this breaking development here?
Yeah, I mean, with the way you saw Angel Garza land, I mean, and the way he had his knee up the whole time when he was trying to roll out, I knew that it wasn't good for him, and obviously they had to go with the profits to regain the title. So yeah, now the question is like, who's going to be next to challenge him? Because obviously now with the injury to Garza, it doesn't look like this feud will continue. So yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see on that. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right, so the next thing that we had was it ended up being okay. So Bailey comes out cutting a promo basically saying, well, I got no competition now, so I mean, with Nikki Cross not being in the building, I'm basically like, I'm done. I don't need to defend my title. I'm just gonna call it a night and I'm out of here. Well, not so fast, my friend, because you had to put the title on the line. You had to put the title on the line against Asuka. That's right. The Raw Women's Champion got another shot at the SmackDown Women's title. Now, honestly, at the beginning of this, when I heard this, I flipped. I absolutely lost my mind saying, what the bleep is going on? Why the hell is Asuka getting a shot at the SmackDown Women's title? I almost lost it, but then I found out what happened after the fact, and it made perfect sense. So Asuka wins the match by 3 minutes and 45 seconds by disqualification, because I think Bailey got intentionally disqualified or something like that. But boy, did Bailey pay a price for that, because Sasha Banks showed up and beat the living daylights out of her. I mean, you want to talk about hell-bent and revengeful? Whoo! Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. And absolutely, Sasha is back and she was pissed. Oh my god, the beatdown she gave was one for the ages. We'll say that. If you thought the beatdown on SmackDown that Bailey gave to Asuka, or that gave to Sasha was bad, Sasha basically almost got all of the retribution back. Not all of it, but she got a good amount of that retribution back on Bailey here tonight. And yeah, game on between Bailey and Sasha, and that rivalry has now exploded to a whole new level. The fight gets thrown out. Well, I say it's an NA for me, because it was more of a segment than an actual fight. But my god, Anthony Florio, holy freaking crap. This was awesome. The match wasn't great, but what happened after, that was awesome.
Yes, this was really more of an angle than a match, honestly. It was supposed to be Nikki Cross, but Nikki Cross maybe not tested positive for COVID. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But we wish her the best as well. We pray all is well with her and that she'll be back soon enough. As far as replacements for Nikki Cross went, WWE had a few options. Lacey Evans, Sasha Banks, and Alexa Bliss were all options. But WWE chose to go with another match we have seen several times in recent months. And that's their biggest problem. We all know what the biggest problem in WWE is today. Repetitive booking, not just on Raw. This is one of the rare times SmackDown got guilty of it. It was cool to see Asuka look so good for the second time in one night. But if the match was just going to end in a DQ anyway, WWE should have had someone else challenge her. Sasha Banks' return was likely meant to be part of the match with Cross, but this was still a satisfying way for her to get revenge. Post-match attack definitely helped this out, and I think we all know where all roads are leading, folks. WWE made it official this evening. It was originally scheduled to be November 1st, but they bumped it up a week to October 25th. That's a month away. Hell in a Cell, and you ready to see those two throw down inside Hell in a Cell? I know all of us are. So that's all there is to say on this. And I know Michael Bullock and Didi Woodson were hopping mad because of the Sami Zayn outcome. But Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, by the way, the match is an NA for me as well. I 100% agree with MF. But Bullock, I know you weren't happy about Sami Zayn, as was Didi, but at the same time, I mean, you got a little bit of some satisfaction because you said it in our messenger. Bayley got taken to the woodshed, and Bullock, I know you were very happy about that. So, NA for me, Bullock, go on.
Yeah, got taken to the woodshed, and to quote JR, she got whipped like a government mule by Sasha Banks. So, yeah, the match was definitely an NA, but yeah, Sasha Banks showing up, get a little bit of retribution on Bayley. And, well, Miss Bayley, there's an old saying. When it comes to beating up people, you didn't finish the job on Sasha Banks. She's still standing, and she basically laid right into Bayley, and she got what was coming to her, and all roads are definitely leading to Hell in a Cell, with these two going at it for the SmackDown Women's Championship inside the Devil's favorite playground. And I cannot wait to see this go down. So, yeah, the match was definitely an NA, but yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it is all yours.
Yeah, I agree. The match was an NA. There's another saying that I kind of said in the chat, except that I kind of bleeped the last word. Payback's a biatch. And of course, there's another match that will pertain to as well later on in the card. But basically, that's what you got, Bayley. You know, you got taken to the woodshed. You got your whipping like they do a government mule, and you got your payback for all the crap you've caused. So, yeah, definitely was nice to see that, because that did make the night just a tad bit better. But I think the other match also kind of makes it a tad bit better too, because of all the payback that one got as well. So I'll wait and talk about that one a little later. So it's yours, Fletch.
Now we go into the two major title matches of the evening, starting it off with the WWE Championship in the ambulance match. Drew McIntyre goes up against Randy Orton, winner of the bout, in 21 minutes, 35 seconds, and still the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. Anthony Florio, you lead off on the Monday Night Raw main event.
Second best fight of the night, and far and away the best thing Raw produced tonight. And Lord knows we needed a shot in the arm tonight, and we finally got it. And I'm not surprised these two delivered. But there is going to be some criticism for this, though. I'm going to give this about 4 stars for the effort. This is yet another match on the card we have seen multiple times. This was not their best encounter from this feud, but it wasn't bad by any means. It was actually pretty fun. Stipulations like ambulance matches will always be controversial because the ending will always be unconventional due to the way somebody has to win. Both superstars are capable of having brutal physical matches, so it's not surprising to see them elevate this match above its stipulation. It's too bad so many other people had to be involved. all of the interference made some sense from a storyline standpoint, but it didn't really help McIntyre. In fact, it made it look like he needed help to win. This was good, but it could have been much better when you consider who was involved. And that's really all I can say. Actually, I'm actually going to change my mind on this. This is actually my third best fight of the night, actually. I'm actually going to take this down a little bit, actually. I'm going to give this between 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. But, you know, like I said, considering who was involved, it could have been much better. I mean, am I happy Drew won? Absolutely. I wanted Drew to win, even though I had that same feeling in the pit of my gut about Sami Zayn winning. That same thing for Randy Orton, but the one image that I'm always going to remember from this, well, that I'm going to remember, and whereas MF is going to be like, you're still talking about this. Seeing Drew McIntyre punt Randy Orton. Oh, loved it. That's all I can say on that. After all the years he's done that to so many legends, like your Shawn Michaels and your Rob Van Dams and your Dusty Rhodes, your Triple H's, your even your McMahons, even your Vince McMahon, your Shane O'Mac, and all that. After all the years and all the times he's done that to so many people, it was nice to see him get his for once in the form of that. So I was very delighted about that. But other than that, it was good, not overly great. It was solid, but not overly great. So what's next for Drew? I mean, does Orton get yet another chance? But there is another pipeline possibility. Hot rumor going around is that WWE is considering turning Keith Lee heel and having Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre go at it for the WWE Championship with a heel Keith Lee. I would question that a little bit because we all know how uber ridiculously over Keith Lee was in NXT. I don't know. Maybe a heel turn for him would work. I don't know. I mean, he would. I think he could make a great monster badass heel. He could, if they decide to go that route. But if this is leading to a Keith Lee Drew McIntyre title feud down the line, let's go. I'm all for it. I want to see it. So, and maybe that could be the shot in the arm we need. So that's it. That's it. So 3.5, 3 3/4 for me. Third best fight of the night. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock. What a pleasant surprise. Drew McIntyre survives. We all thought, I mean, I had a bad feeling about Randy Orton winning, but hey, Drew McIntyre somehow, some way, he got it done yet again.
And I'm not surprised because I actually went with Drew McIntyre when we did our preview. So, yeah, from a storyline standpoint, I mean, you can understand why you had all these superstars, well, that were laid waste by Randy Orton with Christian, The Big Show, Shawn Michaels, and of course with Ric Flair driving me away in the ambulance after the match was over. So I'll give it 3.5 to 4. I mean, it was a good match, but Florio brought up all the interesting points regarding this. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. I'm just gonna give it to T.D. Whitson.
Yeah, I could probably give it about 3.5. This is another one where, Drew came out looking a little bit cheap in the end of this one, but not as bad as what Lame Duckman did, because that's all Zayn has done is cheat to win throughout his whole time having the title so far, where McIntyre hasn't quite done that. This is the one that I said that, another one where you could say payback's a biatch to Orton, because everybody but Edge got their payback on him. And, I thought it was great, since Flair can't beat him up, he's the one driving the ambulance. Hey, sounds great to me. If that's the way we can use our legends to do stuff like that, then that's great. I mean, it keeps him involved some way without him actually getting injured. So yeah, I don't have much negative to say about it. Florio touched on most of the negative parts of it, and like I said, I agree with some of it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was a great match. This was a great WWE title match. And look, ambulance matches have never really been that great in the day, but this one delivered. And the thing is, the body of work was well done, and it was very solid. It was a very good situation. All the legends, like you said, Christian, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, they all got in. They all got their revenge. They all got their payback. So there was really nothing more to add there. This was a solid way to, I guess you could say, in a way, close the chapter on Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Now you got to believe that he moves on, and the next guy who will probably get to fight him, or the next guy that probably is looking, is probably Keith Lee. Because Keith Lee has been there, he's right in the mix, so you kind of believe that he'll probably be the next man to go for the title match, but we'll wait and see what happens. But we will move on to the main event of the evening for the Universal Championship. The champion, Roman Reigns, goes one-on-one against Jey Uso, winner of the bout, via a stoppage, TKO stoppage, 22 minutes, 55 seconds, and still the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, the Big Dog, Roman Reigns. Michael Bullock, dude, at points this match got very uncomfortable to watch. Roman practically destroyed Jey Uso here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the new looks of Roman Reigns was he didn't come out with a vest or a shirt. I mean, he came out with the way you saw him, and yeah, I mean, there were times during the match. I mean, it became uncomfortable to watch. I mean, where Roman basically wanted to beat the crap out of Jey Uso to the point that we would have to bring the ambulance out again. But Jimmy Uso showed up and he basically threw in the towel. He stopped the match because it was like Jimmy Uso said, "Hey, you proved your point. Enough is enough." So, yeah, Roman Reigns definitely really cemented his heel turn tonight. So, and the IWC wanted heel Roman. They got it, and boy howdy, he's really taking the ball with this heel turn, and he's running with it. So, as far as the match goes, I'll give it about maybe another 3.5 to 4. So, yeah, the heel Roman is definitely the best thing going on right now for him. So, there's nothing more to say except Dee Woodson. Heel Roman is the best thing that we have going right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it made sense for Roman to, be heel on this and to cement that. I do agree. It's about a 4-star match. Not, it wasn't a technical masterpiece by any stretch, but it absolutely was a fantastic storyline and character development for Roman and for the twins. And seeing, them coming out there, the younger brother, trying to prove what, that he's not, the bottom of the heap here, and then the older brother, trying to protect the younger brother. it's a lot of history, a lot of stuff that you find in most families when you've got multiple children type situations. So it did at times very cringeworthy, but at the same time it Reigns proved his point, that he is the top dog of the family, or as he put it, the chief, which I don't think I could call him that, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, he's the top dog now, so we'll have to see how this plays out. If Jay's going to continue trying to go after his cousin, or if Jay and Jimmy are going to go back into the tag team situation. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens here on how this is going to play out. But definitely storyline and character development very much so with this match. So not much more I have to add. It's yours, Sledge.
Yeah, this was really good. I love the storyline. Yes, I know a lot of people were complaining that it was boring, it was slow, it was plotty, it was a massacre. I get it. But then again, if you're gonna want Roman Reigns to be an established heel, if you want Roman Reigns to be that kind of heel, you need moments like this. You needed a beatdown like this. You needed Jey Uso to get destroyed. You needed clear cut, no doubt, in your face, raw, disgusting type of a human being type emotion from Roman Reigns. And that's exactly what you got here tonight. You got a merciless, vengeful, didn't give a crap about Jey Uso or his family, and he destroyed them in the heap in the Thunderdome tonight, and did it with no remorse, no regret, and didn't give a flying F about it. And that's the Roman Reigns you need. That's the Roman Reigns that I've been waiting to see, that the world's been waiting to see, that the people's been... The reason why we've been booing Roman Reigns for the longest time is because we wanted a Roman Reigns like this. And by God, we got it tonight. This is a Roman Reigns I can back up on. This is a Roman Reigns I could actually enjoy and like. Without a doubt, this is the best thing that could ever happen to Roman Reigns. Ever since he's come back, ever since he's aligned with Paul Heyman and became the new Paul Heyman guy, we were like, ooh, how's this going to play out? Without a doubt, this is Roman Reigns' best work in WWE. Remember, this is very remindful of the My Time Roman Reigns of NXT. Stop wasting my time. I'm here about the business. I'm here about the money, the glory, and everything else. And screw everything that I have built my empire on. The Roman Empire is built through this. If you want to stop me, then do it. But you're going to have to kill me to stop me. That's exactly the Roman Reigns I've been looking for. And god damn it, tonight we saw a vicious Roman Reigns. A destructive Roman Reigns. And good luck to anybody to stop this Roman Reigns in this year. Anthony Florio, it's yours. This is at least a 4-star beatdown for me.
Before I do, I just want to get one quick thing off my chest. All hail the tribal chief. I'm not selling out. I bought in, baby. That's all there is to say on that. So all hail the tribal chief. That's it. I 100% agree. 4.25 stars. This was the second best fight of the night. Some matches are about big spots. Others are about technical ability. This match was designed to tell a story, and it accomplished that goal. Roman Reigns talking trash at his cousin as he toyed with him for most of the match was the best heel work we have seen from him since he returned. It helped sell his new attitude better than anything he could have done in the ring. Cheating with a low blow was the icing on the cake. Not only did it establish that the title means more to Reigns than his own family, but it also means he is willing to put his pride aside for success. This was better than anyone could have predicted. Jey Uso looked great as the underdog, and Roman Reigns looked even better as the dominant jerk. this was an outstanding ending to a hot and cold pay-per-view. It is going to be very interesting to see if this is the end of this story or if the Usos and Roman Reigns become permanent rivals. So that's all there is to say on this. 4 to 4.25 stars, second best fight of the night. All hail the Tribal Chief, MF. Let's get to the overall thoughts.
All right, and I believe it starts with Didi Woodson. So, Didi, why don't you start us off on your thoughts about Clash of Champions tonight? Didi?
Okay. I had stepped away for just like 2 seconds and didn't realize we were here. As a whole, it was a pretty good pay-per-view. I'm going to give it 8 stars. This is one of the better ones that they've done. Yeah, there was some low points. Yeah, there was some stuff that a lot of us didn't agree with in different matches. I mean, me and Bullock, of course, with the opener, and Florio a little bit later on down the road with McIntyre. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot here. But we had a few that were actually, I think, finishing storylines, some that were progressing storylines. So there's just was a lot here to unpackage and everything. So now we get to see where this all unfolds on Raw tomorrow night, SmackDown Friday night, and if all goes well, I may be in the Thunderdome again on Monday, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, this was definitely a very I would say it was a very good show from top to bottom with minimum low points. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Very good show. Very good show. No doubt about it. I don't think there was. I mean, there was a few bad parts and bad stuff on the show. I think you're definitely right about that, Didi. But at the end of the day, I thought WWE did a very good job of, taking what they had. Because going into this was going to be a complete and utter mess. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was going on. The show was. I mean, we were fearing the worst for this show because with everything that was going on, there was so much uncertainty going in. But I really think they did a good job. They pretty much nailed everything they needed to nail down. So no, as a whole, I think Monday night. I think Raw's going to be interesting tomorrow night. So will SmackDown. For me, I like the show overall. So I thought it was a very solid show. I'm going to give this about maybe 7.5 out of 10. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
7.5 for me. This show was better than expected, especially when you consider all the changes that had to be made. The event does hit a lull in the middle as the U.S. Raw Tag Team and SmackDown Women's title matches were all fine but unspectacular. However, Selena Vega delivered. I enjoyed the ladder match, as you know. The ambulance match was fun. And then you get 2 tremendous bouts in the ladder match and the main event. And yeah, ladder match was the fight of the night. Roman and Uso was the second best fight of the night. Ambulance match rounds out my top 3, and all the other matches were, solid to good and all that. But to me, if I was to recommend what to watch out of this event, it would have to be the ladder match, the main event, and the ambulance match, and the post-match angle with Bayley and Sasha Banks. You definitely want to tune in for that as well. So 7.5 is my final rating for this. So Michael Bullock, put a bow on it.
Yeah, 7.5 for me as well. I mean, this was a good pay-per-view. I mean, yeah, it did have some lows as well, but all in all, some of the matches that, were either I mean, besides some of the low lights were either good to even great for that matter. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's just wrap it up.
All right, and we will indeed. So tomorrow night will be another edition of Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio on his channel. We're gonna go through Monday Night Raw. We're gonna have 205 Live. We're gonna have Impact Wrestling, and maybe, just maybe, we'll also give a quick little recap on the Stanley Cup Final, Game 6. If the game does go to an end, and if we do crown a champion, we might give a quick little thought about that, but we'll wait and see what happens. And then, you know what? I was going to do something, but I'm going to do this Tuesday night. We're going to do a special edition of Strictly Sports. We're going to get into the Major League Baseball, and we're also going to preview the NBA Finals because the finals are now officially set. That's right. The Miami Heat clinches the Eastern Conference title tonight. They knocked off the Boston Celtics, so it will be the Miami Heat versus the Los Angeles Lakers for the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and we'll get into the wild card round of Major League Baseball Tuesday night at 10:30. As always, Wednesday Night Mayhem. We'll go through AEW and NXT. Thursday's College Football Thursday. Friday is another edition of Cerebral Smack Talk. Saturday is NFL Saturday, so we're going to be busy for the next few days, guys. It's going to get wild in here. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now, and until then.